real estate is such a moving topic. You know, we watch all the HGTV shows, Millionaire Real Estate Agent, Flip or Flop, or all the other things, whether it's decorating, whether it's rehabbing, or whether it's just looking at the process of a real estate agent selling a home. It seems to be the biggest interest to many of you out there. Yet, many of you out there don't own a home. What are you waiting for? Today I want to talk about really kind of the real estate topic as a whole. And why are we waiting, some of you waiting, to buy your home? There's studies that have been shown that children feel safer, they feel, they do better in school and classroom activities with parents that own a home, where they come to a home that's theirs. We've talked about the net worth concept, whereas what's the difference between the net worth of a renter versus the net worth of a homeowner? And there's so many other advantages to home ownership. So I ask again, what are you waiting for? Why are you deciding to not buy a home? And I got a couple reasons why people think that they can't buy a home. Let's talk about them briefly, real quick. One of the reasons they think that they can't buy a home is because they have bad credit. Now, I talk about that a lot in many of the videos that I talk to, because it seems to be the biggest concern with people is their credit. And I start with this is, what is the steps that you're willing to take to get your credit to where it needs to be so that you can buy a home? Because at the end of the day, renting, well, you're just paying somebody else's mortgage. So you're paying a mortgage, it's just not yours. That should make you upset that you're paying somebody else's mortgage. Many of you out there are paying $1,500, $1,600, $1,700 or more. I had a client that was paying $2,000 a month. That's $24,000 a year going towards someone else's mortgage. Why? Well, they believed because they had challenging credit that they could never buy a home. Luckily, they ran into me and my team, and we came up with a strategy to help them rebuild their credit and put them on a path of financial security. Within 6 months, actually 6 months, a little bit over 6 months, we got them into a home. We got their credit to where it needed to be. And here we are a couple years later, and we're looking to buy our second home. They're moving from that home that we originally bought, and they're moving into their second home. And guess what? Their credit is even better than it was when we bought the first one. So if you're using credit as a crutch of your reasoning why you're not buying a home, that's not good enough. Maybe you're thinking, hey, I don't make enough money. Well, one of my number one themes that I say, I have it on a lot of my t-shirts that I have out there, it says, if you can pay rent, then you can pay a mortgage. Now, you must keep this in concept of, if you're paying $800 in rent, yeah, there is a home that is $800 in a mortgage. But you must understand, that's not the HGTV home that you see on TV that they just rehabbed and renovated, okay? And that's not this bad home either. What I'm trying to explain to you is that there's a home to fit a reasonable amount of rent. If you're paying $800, $1,000, $1,200, $1,500, anything above, if you're paying anything above $1,400 and $1,500 in rent, you should be in a home. Just because the average selling price here in Houston, Texas is a little bit over $250,000. And with today's current rates, that's putting you at about $1,700, $1,800. So if you're paying $1,700, $1,800, you should be owning. It'll build your net worth. So it can't be because you don't have enough money to pay for a monthly mortgage, because you're already doing it. when you rent an apartment or you rent a home. Maybe you think, well, I don't work at a good enough job. Well, let's talk about that for a second. If you work consistently and steady for the last 2 years in a job, that is good enough to get you started. That is good enough to start the questions. That is good enough to have a financial planner or a loan officer look at you and determine what we need to do or what type of home you can afford. Because at the end of the day, you're going to pay the mortgage, you're going to pay the amount regardless of whether you own it or not. The only difference is whether you get any benefits from it. Well, lastly, maybe you're just saying, I don't know where I want to live. Well, in today's real estate market, with interest rates at an all-time low, even if you bought a house this year, and let's say you got a 3.25% interest rate, which, by the way, to give you an idea of kind of like how interest rates have been working over the years, if you bought a home in the 80s, the interest rate was well over 15, 16%. If you bought a home even as soon as the 2000s, 2005, 2006, 2007, you usually were dealing with an interest rate somewhere between 7% and 8.5%. So to put it in perspective, being at 3%, 3.5%, 4%, even as high as some people like to say as 5%, is still an all-time low in regards to interest rates. Why wouldn't you want to take advantage of that? The lower the interest rate, the more you can afford in a home because you're not paying as much in interest. So when we talk about it again and say, okay, is it financial? Is it credit? Is it mindset or need? What is the reason that's stopping you from buying a home in today's great market? I would love to tell you that, everyone will qualify for a home and it'll be easy and you just walk through that process and you just write a piece of paper. I wouldn't be totally honest if I was to tell you that, okay? What I will tell you is this, is that by working with someone like me and my team, or working with a real estate professional and a good mortgage partner, we can find out a strategy that's going to help you get from renting and paying someone else's mortgage to a point where you can walk into your own house, open the door with your own key, pull up to the driveway and open the garage with your own garage door opener and start to gain the benefits and the net worth to being a homeowner. Because that is not about whether you can. It's not about if you can buy a home, it's about when. But you gotta be ready to do the work. So that means we need to change your mindset today. If you have questions about buying a home, I'd love to speak with you about it. Even if you're not ready today, let's talk about it. Let's see what we need to do to put you in a position to make your life better. So if you have any questions, reach out to me, 832-257-9083. Of course, my name is Walter Davis. You can also go onto my website at www.myluxuryagent.com. On there, you can fill out a little form down there. It'll kick your name and information to me, and I can always reach back out to you that way. I just want to get you in the process of starting to think about the next step. Because think about it like this. If you're 20, you think you got 50, 60 years left. So you think, I can own a home whenever. But within, I say this all the time, you close your eyes and next thing you know, you're 40 or you're 50. And are you owning a home yet? Now, for those of you out there that are 40 or 50 years old and have never owned a home, now is just as good of a time as it was 10 or 15, 20 years ago. So there's no wrong time to become a homeowner. There's only a wrong time not to start. So I look forward to hearing from you. Stay safe. God bless. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye now.